welcome to another episode of The Wave. My name is Adam.
My name is Nick. Welcome back to the weekly news and chat show from the world famous Bottom of the Stream podcast.
Oh, you sung stream then. I liked it.
Thanks.
How are you, Nick?
I'm glad to be here. I'm always glad to be here.
Always.
It's pretty much the favourite part of my week.
Good. I'm glad. Fun aboard this stream boat, isn't it?
Yeah?
Yeah.
God damn right it is.
Been up to much?
I have nothing too exciting. I've had to stay away a couple of nights this week with work, which is a bit boring. And
never good.
Never as much fun as...
It sounds like it should be a lot of fun, but I imagine
it will be.
Yeah.
But I'm here now, ready to talk movies.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Kind of like, it's the last time we'll mention it, like, until next festive season. But
Okay.
Christmas truly feels like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, it was a distant memory now, isn't it? Long.
Considering, like, 2 weeks ago, it would have still been full festive season.
Yeah, absolutely.
But such is life.
Indeed.
Summer soon, shorts on. I've got shorts on now.
You have got shorts on now. It's January.
Yeah.
You were aware of this?
Yeah, but...
It's also really windy. What a windy
It is
week.
windy, but I got home from work today and I had to nip down to the supermarket. I was like, I've been sat at work on my backside all day. I'll walk.
Okay.
Yeah, to put some bit of fresh air and get some steps. So I was like, sounds pretty windy. Doesn't look that nice out there. I'll stick a coat on. By the time I got there, I was like, it's way too hot for this
It's
coat.
been quite mild, hasn't it? It's windy, but it's not cold.
So by the time I got home and had my dinner, I was like, oh no, I'm still too hot. Shorts.
Shorts
for
on the
podcasting.
stream boat. Podcast shorts. There was a time where you only ever podcasted in shorts.
I know.
Bring that back.
Yeah. Okay.
Podcast shorts.
Bottom of the stream shorts. That's what I'm going to go and look for on the
I'm
old...
sure you can get some on the merch
Merch
site, on
store.
the website. Absolutely. Do you want to talk a little bit about last week's film before we start?
Sure, The Ledge.
The Ledge.
If you've not heard our episode, go
Go
and
listen
listen
to
to
it.
our episode.
It's available now wherever
Yeah.
you get your podcasts.
I think you put it probably best on the episode. A true
thanks.
bottom of the stream movie.
Yeah, it's exactly the sort of movie we should be doing on this show.
It was bad.
It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
But in terms of concept,
Good concept.
woman being chased up a mountain.
Get stuck on a mountain
Yeah.
that she seems to be super glued to.
Yeah.
And yeah, hilarity ensues.
I mean, yeah. Just,
Hilarity's not the word I was looking for. There,
there was
Creepiness
there was a few unintentional laughs that were really,
Yeah.
really laughable. When she was not holding on to that mountain at several times throughout.
No, she wasn't. I don't know how she was standing up on this sheer rock face.
But it was a pretty vicious, nasty film as well.
It was indeed.
In some way.
Ended up 6 on the stream table. Still happy with that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's better than another round needle in a time sack at Smart Christmas. I
Yeah.
think that's fair.
And what are we talking about this week?
This week we're talking about There seems to be a debate about where this movie was made.
Oh, I love it.
It's a French movie,
It's definitely got a lot of French in it.
but it appears to have been made and set in Belgium.
It's definitely set in Belgium.
Yeah, so nobody really knows, I don't think. But yeah, it's called The Mansion. It's a horror comedy,
Yeah.
I guess. Comedy horror. It's not. I wouldn't call it a horror film, but
I would
most
say it
people wouldn't
leans...
call it a comedy either.
Yeah, we'll talk about it more on Thursday.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
say it leans more into horror than I expected.
Yes, I think that's
Than
fair.
my preconception was.
Yeah.
I was expecting it to be more of a murder mystery. And I would say it leaned more into... And it had that element.
Yes,
but
it
it
did.
did lean more into the horror
Yes.
than I expected.
Okay, that's fair. So yeah, come back on Thursday for the movie show, and
Yeah.
we'll talk to you about French/Belgian movie, The Mansion,
Indeed.
or Le Manoir, as it is known.
Oh, that was quite nice.
Thanks, I've been practicing.
Have you? Good.
In the meantime, shall we do some Netflix news?
Sure.
What have we got this week, Nick?
Whatever your
I
name
was gonna say on Netflix, Nick, and it just came out as Neck.
People like Idris Elba, don't they?
Some people do like Idris Elba, yeah.
Oh, that implied... the way you said that was like, maybe you don't.
I don't really have a strong opinion either way on Idris Elba, if I'm honest.
Okay,
I
let's...
didn't like him in the Dark Tower movie,
well, okay.
but I
yeah,
did like
that's
him in
fair
Luther.
comment.
So,
I mean...
and I didn't like him in The Office.
No, that's...
So,
yeah. I liked him in The Harder They Fall, where he barely
Yeah.
talked.
no, he didn't.
And he
talk
was
much in that.
imposing.
Yes, that's true.
I like Idris Elba. Maybe half the time.
Yeah,
But
that's fair.
I don't... always get what the fuss is about.
Yeah, I think that's
And
fair.
similarly, I would say, and we will get to the actual news story in a minute.
It's a news story about Idris Elba.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Luther.
Yeah.
I really liked Luther at the start. And
Yeah.
I found it really a case of diminishing returns.
Yeah, it did
season
get
on season.
worse as it went on, didn't it? That's
Yeah.
fair.
So I kind of a little bit of me is surprised at the clamour.
The only thing I ever
For its
remember about
return.
Luther was then when that lad from Hollyoaks got speared through the chest. I remember that much.
But you know, Netflix, along with the BBC, probably because the BBC weren't willing to fork out for a big movie star Idris Elba's
Yep, that's exactly what's
wages
happened here.
without some help, have released the first look at the Luther movie,
Okay.
which is, I didn't realise, getting a cinematic release.
Oh, is it really? I didn't know that.
I presume a reasonably limited one, because the cinematic release for Luther, the Fallen Son,
Oh.
that's S-U-N, not S-O-N.
Oh, okay. That's even weirder.
Is getting a cinematic release, at least in the UK, on February the 24th.
Okay.
But then will arrive on Netflix a mere 2 weeks later on March the 10th.
Interesting. Okay.
The first trailer is available. Idris Elba shared that this week. 2019 was the end of
Was
the
it really?
final series.
Wow.
on the
Has it been
BBC.
that long?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
I did not realise or remember where we left Luther, but apparently he's in prison, and that happened at the end of the season.
I did not know that either.
I can't remember.
Nor can I.
The synopsis says, as we saw at the end of the TV series, Luther was banged up for his crimes. However, he is now haunted by a cyber psychopath and decides he needs to break out of prison to finish the job by any means necessary.
Ooh, okay. Tables have turned.
It brings back most of the regulars from the TV series, but Luther's adversary, a character called David Roby, is played by Andy Serkis.
Oh, wow.
Who actually,
Another big name
I
movie
can
star.
imagine being a really grubby, horrible
Yeah.
killer /
He'd play that
bad
really well,
guy.
wouldn't he? Yeah.
I think so. In fact, Serkis said, when I first read the script, I almost wanted to throw it in the bin and have a shower.
Oh, good then. That's not a good...
He
Not
said,
a good reaction.
I don't think I've come across anything quite as dark for a long time.
Oh, okay.
And it made me consider, and then again, I'm not sure this is a selling point either. It made me consider, do I really actually at this point in the world and time and in my life want to go down this particular rabbit hole of something that's so hard to fathom in humanity?
How dark is this character? Okay.
Okay, yeah. Well,
Cool.
not long to wait.
No, pretty soon. Next month.
Luther will arrive.
Luther's back. Next.
Sports news.
Sports news.
We've sort of had a few confirmations this week from Netflix. We've talked a bit in the previous, I don't know, month, maybe 6 weeks, about a few, basically taking that template from Drive to Survive,
Yeah.
and replicating it for as many sports as possible, because you know that's the Netflix thing. We've got a load of release dates basically
Okay.
for some new sports documentaries. And one, no, actually two that I don't think we were aware of before that are also coming this year.
Right.
So I will go through them.
Go through them.
So on the 15th of February, you will get Full Swing.
Okay.
That's the golf behind the scenes sports
Right.
documentary.
That should have been called Drive to Survive as well.
Definitely.
I can't believe they've missed that.
100%. They should have synergized that marketing. The Rugby Six Nations is
Yeah.
going to be called, at the minute, Six Nations. It is noted that it's a working title.
I was going to say that's a bit unimaginative.
Will be filmed in the upcoming 2023 tournament, so will launch next year
Okay.
on Netflix. Also, you have a drive in rugby because you
You
drive
do.
forward.
Drive to Survive Rugby. Why have they not done this? Another colon as well.
Yes.
Drive to Survive Rugby. Drive to Survive colon golf.
Yeah. A couple of the ones we didn't realise were coming, or I don't remember seeing these before. Is that an untitled FIFA World Cup series is to air later this summer, with Netflix revealing that actually they'd be behind the scenes at Qatar 2022.
Oh.
We had privileged access and exclusive footage in and around all 32 teams, and the series will show viewers the World Cup as never seen before.
That could be quite interesting.
It's really interesting considering their whole promotion leading up to the World Cup was the FIFA Uncovered documentary.
Yeah, exactly.
Slagging off FIFA. So, fair play, playing both sides, Netflix.
Yeah,
whatever.
why not? It's all about money. Nobody cares about anything but money.
Also due summer 2023, which is now this year.
Yes.
I keep having to remind myself.
It
is
indeed.
A new series, Heart of Invictus.
Right.
So this
I
focuses
think I can guess what that one's going to be.
on the Invictus Games and is from part of the agreement that Netflix famously has with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle.
Right. Yeah, because that's like his thing, isn't it?
It is. And it is a really good cause.
Yeah,
the series says it will follow the group of extraordinary competitors from all around the globe. They are all ex-service members who have suffered life-changing injuries or illnesses on their road to competing at the Invictus Games, founded by Prince Harry in 2014.
Wow, nearly 10 years ago.
And then just to finish off, the 5th season of F1 : Drive to Survive will be premiering on February the 24th.
Okay.
And finally...
You said finally a minute ago.
Finally again, the tennis version of Drive to Survive, which I don't think you can get a drive in tennis. I don't think you can.
No, maybe not.
Breakpoint, that's what they've called that. Debuts on Netflix on January the 13th.
That's today.
That's today.
As we record.
Finally, also during 2023, is a Tour de France
Oh, okay.
documentary.
You drive a bike?
Why not?
Ride to survive.
The ride to survive.
It's not Irish.
Do you want to know what Netflix's statement on all these sports template documentaries is?
Absolutely.
This eclectic group of new and returning series reinforces that we are committed to delivering the best sports stories to our fans, says Brandon Reig, who is Vice President of Unscripted and Documentary Series at Netflix.
Vice President.
Yeah. He says, by going behind the scenes, we have the unique opportunity to share the triumphs, tribulations, and drama of these iconic moments. There you go.
Just make a documentary about anything these days.
They could do it behind the scenes of, like, bottom of the stream.
That'd be really boring.
All the drama that goes in.
There is some drama sometimes, but mostly it'd just be me sitting in here in my pants editing these episodes, which nobody wants to see, trust me.
I think you might be surprised. I think it might be a niche audience, but
yeah,
I think they'd be loyal.
To be fair, the podcast itself has a niche audience.
But is loyal.
But it is loyal. And we love them for it. All of them.
Anyway, away from all that silliness.
Yes, let's move on.
Things
Sports.
like that. Netflix has announced the introduction of a new initiative, which is called Created By, in which they are backing a specially selected group of underrepresented writers.
Right.
They have offered script developmental deals to 14 talented mid-level film and series writers.
Okay.
Netflix say that they joined forces with 6 leading organisations at the forefront of creating access to underrepresented creators, like the National Hispanic Media Coalition, the Coalition of Asian Pacifics in Entertainment, the Native American Media Alliance, and the Black TV and Film Collective. Each of these these organisations nominated several candidates from their own writers' programmes, and Netflix then selected the final recipients. 14 writers have been given this sort of assistance by Netflix to help develop projects.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. Netflix says that these developmental deals provide the writers with the opportunity to go through the studio development process and hone their projects alongside Netflix executives from series and movie teams. All series writers will be invited to participate in a training lab designed to provide the essential skills needed to successfully run a Netflix series. I'm not going to go through all the details. If you go to about.netflix.com, there is a really interesting article profiling each one of these. There is 14 people from very diverse backgrounds, and this sounds like a really interesting program.
Yeah, it really does.
Give people a foot in the door that may have otherwise found it.
This is the sort of good stuff that Netflix does that never gets reported on.
Yeah.
Everything you see in the media about Netflix is always negative.
Yeah.
But they never get reported on this good stuff.
So
this is even on their own website because nobody else has reported it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And, there's no guarantee that it means anyone's going to get a show to series or movie, but
they've got more chance now than they did
before. It's networking, it's making contacts, it's honing projects they've already got in development. I'm sure there's something there in the fine print that if Netflix sees something it likes, welcome aboard.
Welcome aboard. I'll put the link to that in our Discord, so if you want to read the article fully, it will be in there by the time this episode comes out.
I don't want to do anyone a disservice by picking anyone out, so go
absolutely.
and find it, and there's some really interesting profiles on there.
Good for them.
I do recommend it. It's worth the read.
Next.
Excellent. Next is some confirmation this week that... Okay, so it's a kind of two-part news story. First being that the SAG Awards, that is the Screen Actors Guild, not for saggy people.
I would win that.
It has been announced that this year, so 2023's SAG Awards ceremony will be streamed on Netflix's YouTube channel.
Yes, live.
Yes, and then from 2024... the ceremony will be streamed exclusively via Netflix itself.
That's something they've never done as far as I know. It's finally happening.
Live.
How long have we been talking
on
about
Netflix?
doing this? Netflix Live.
It's noted that SAG Awards have previously aired on TBS and TNT in the States, but the organisation has decided to migrate. February the 26th at 8 p.m. They will be 8 p.m. I don't know if that is Eastern time or Pacific time, but they will be on Netflix.
It's Eastern time.
Okay, Netflix's YouTube channel. Yeah.
We've been talking about Netflix moving on to live stuff for a while, and we seem to have manifested it because there was no even any rumours of it when we. It was.
A year ago,
there was not even any
more.
rumours of it at the time, but now
maybe more.
It's happening in March. Is the first thing, isn't it? This Chris Rock.
March 4th, Chris Rock's comedy special. Yeah.
That seems like now a proof of concept to make sure all the technology works, and then they'll start doing the SAG Awards and other stuff. Yeah. That won't be the only thing.
No, of course it won't. Just bringing. Well, we'll come on to one in a minute. There's shitloads of award ceremonies.
Yeah, there is.
Sure, you can buy them for. I can't imagine that it was a huge bidding war for the SAG Awards, but
no, I can't imagine it was. But it doesn't have to be award ceremonies. It can be literally anything.
Of course it can.
Yeah, sports.
We've talked about sports before. Yeah. World Tag League and stuff like that.
Yeah, stand-up comedy, all sorts. You can do anything.
Some exciting news. I find this exciting.
This is exciting.
Do you like Stathlets Flats?
It's one of the greatest sitcoms ever made. Yes, I do like it. It's wonderful.
Do you know what? I'm just thinking, we had a real talk a while ago on what's your favourite sitcom.
Oh, we did?
No, I don't know if anyone mentioned Stathlets.
I don't think it came up.
And it is amazing.
It is amazing. Have you watched any, briefly changing the subject, have you watched any of Live at the Moth Club?
No.
UK TV Play?
No.
Over here. It's a fly on the wall mockumentary about a comedy club.
Okay.
And it stars comedians.
Yes.
But there is also like live comedy sets by actual comedians in it as well.
Got ya.
Jamie Dimitri's in it. That's what's made me write it. He wrote one episode. His sister's in it as well.
Yeah.
And the guy who plays the other guy in Stathlets Flats, the miserable one.
Yes.
He's in it as well. And
great.
It's really, really funny. I've watched the whole season this week.
Oh,
I would definitely recommend it. It's very funny.
Excellent. Well, news that this week, Jamie Dimitri himself is the first UK comedian to release a sketch show special on Netflix.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So obviously there's been stand-ups before, stand-up shows, but not a sketch show. It's a one-off special, A Whole Lifetime, which will mix songs and sketches. Dimitri said, "I'm in it quite a lot. I hope that's okay."
That was
fine. His press release. Netflix says the special will take the audience on a journey from birth to death through the ever-adored medium of song and sketch, unpacking the most crucial, embarrassing, heartening, and ultimately futile stages of a life lived in the anxious modern day. Some of the co-stars from Staff Let's Flats will also appear on this.
Okay, cool.
A release date has not yet been set.
That's really exciting. I really like him.
I just didn't realise Jamie Dimitri is going to be in the Barbie movie. Yet another reason to
is he really?
Yeah.
Another reason why you need to watch the Barbie movie. Everything I hear about this movie is going to be a classic.
Yeah, we will. When we get a date, we'll...
as soon as we know a date for that, we'll keep you informed on it.
Mm-hmm.
Exciting times.
Possibly the shortest and piece of news, but we just need to cover it.
Yep.
Because it's quite important, I suppose. Wednesday's been renewed.
Yeah, no surprise to anybody.
I don't think so.
A few people were expecting it. There was
I think I know what you're going to say, and I'm going to say absolute bullshit.
a few people were expecting it to move to Amazon, weren't they?
Not.
I know it was never going to happen, but a few people. I don't know where that came from, but
because I think Amazon has a deal with MGM,
who
own the Addams Family.
Yeah,
but there is no way Netflix are going to have made and signed up to something and gone. And not signed. If this is successful, we will want more seasons. Yeah. It's just lazy journalism.
Yes, absolutely was. But no, it's not a surprise. It's been renewed and good. I'm glad. Hopefully, season 2 will be as good as people think season 1 is.
Okay, a bit of movie news.
Go for it.
Paul Mescal.
Okay.
Has been cast as the lead in Ridley Scott's sequel to Gladiator.
Oh, it's happening.
No, he's making the wrong one.
No,
not making that one.
He's not making the time travel one.
No, he's not making the Nick Cave
one.
What? Which he is going to start shooting once he's finished with Napoleon, which he is currently filming.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. I just don't get excited about Ridley Scott films.
No, same.
Pretentious. Mescal will play Lucius, who is the son of Lucilla from the first movie. He's now a grown man. He was the nephew of Commodus, if you remember the first movie. It's been years since I've seen Gladiator.
Same.
They anticipate that shooting will start this year.
So it's a couple of years away.
Ridley Scott just kind of... I feel like I bashed him before on this show.
I think you have.
But he just does this, doesn't he? Gonna make a sequel 20 years later.
Yeah. To build on the hype.
Because people will come and see it.
It's working for James Cameron.
Do
you know any... Changing the subject completely. Do you know anybody who's seen Avatar 2 yet?
I mean, I know... Yeah, I know a couple in the Discord. I don't know. I've not had a conversation with anyone who's come and said, "Oh my god, I saw Avatar 2." And
have I.
Yeah, I know, and it was great or whatever.
I know
of a couple of people.
Have you seen any media advertising for it? Anyway, is it on the side of buses, billboards, anything you've seen? I just feel like I don't know how it's making so much money because nobody I know has seen it. I just don't understand what's happening. For a film to make that much money, you'd think it'd have to be plastered everywhere.
Highest grossing film of all time.
Yeah, exactly. As we speak, but I don't know anybody who's watched it. And I've not seen any trailers for it.
I've seen a few adverts, I think.
I don't think I have.
Only a couple of TV spots.
I feel like I've seen more trailers for A Man Called Otto.
Oh, right, okay.
I feel like that's everywhere.
I read an article
Yeah.
about a man who'd got like 65 Avatar tattoos.
Oh, okay. Why?
Because he
was he just basically blue?
Yeah.
He's blue all over.
Yeah.
Strange man.
But I'm not seeing the cultural... I said this about the first one, though.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing the cultural everyday impact of this huge behemoth of a franchise.
I keep seeing how much money it's making. I'm like, I don't know how it's happening because I don't know anybody who's going to see it. It's weird to me. It's really weird to me. It's like when Endgame came out, everybody was seeing that. I saw it twice.
Yeah.
And that made loads of money, but I feel like you knew everybody was watching it.
Yeah.
But this just feels like it's going under the radar and making all this money. And I don't understand how. I'm not saying I don't believe it.
Is there not much more out?
Well, there's not a lot about at the minute, but
Yeah.
I still don't know anybody who's going. I just find it really strange. Anyway, moving on. Next.
Let's talk about a gentleman who has just struck a deal to direct his first feature film.
Okay, this is interesting.
And that is a gentleman who is far more famous over the years for his composing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is Michael Giacchino, who
Say it fast if you don't know how to pronounce it.
is an absolute sort of, would you say legend?
Yeah,
Composer
absolutely.
legend? His body of work.
He's a behemoth in soundtracking
Yeah.
films and TV.
And scores. He at the end of last year, and I've not actually seen this because I kept meaning to, but didn't. He directed Werewolf by Night, which was the sort of Marvel hour-long Halloween special on Disney+.
Did he? Okay. No, I haven't seen that.
Well, he signed up for his first movie, a director role, and that is a remake of Them,
Oh, right. Wow.
which is a 1950s nuclear ant film.
Cool.
So, I mean, I think I'm on board already.
100%.
I want to say,
How do you get that made in
I don't know
2023?
if I've seen this. I don't know if I've seen Them, but I feel like I've seen sequences from Them.
Yeah,
if
I
I've
feel
not
like-
sat and watched
yeah.
the whole thing.
I think, yeah, that's probably a thing.
1954. The plot of which was a huge nest of irradiated ants being discovered in the desert, becoming a national threat when two queen ants escape to set up new nests. Bring it on, yeah.
Yeah, I'm up for that. I'm absolutely up for that. It doesn't sound like the sort of film that needs a big soundtrack, but it's definitely going to get one.
But yeah, what, do you think he's going to do double duty?
Well, you can't. Who's he going to employ to do it? Because he's the best in the business at it. Who do you get to come and score a movie for Michael Giacchino? However you say his name. He did the score for Lost. He's incredible. I'm excited by that.
Yeah, sure. Why?
I'm up for a killer ant movie.
I mean,
in
to be fair,
2023.
Robert Rodriguez chops scores and
Yeah, that's true.
directs his own films, doesn't he?
Yeah,
So maybe.
I'm up for that. Do you want to do this one or this one next?
I want to do the Golden Globes story
That isn't the one I've just clicked on, but that's fine.
because
Let's do the Golden Globe.
the last one is very much an and finally.
Okay, cool.
So it was the Golden Globes this weekend.
It was indeed.
Do we want to run through a few of the winners?
Yes, absolutely we do.
The Fabelmans won Best Film in the Drama category.
Really looking
That's
forward to seeing that.
Steven Spielberg's semi-autobiographical movie.
It's about a kid who gets into making movies.
The Banshees of Inisherin.
Have you seen that?
No, it's on Disney Plus
It
now.
is. Yeah, I
You
need to
watch
see it. I need to watch that.
Best Film Musical or Comedy. I think that was up against some tough competition as well.
Yeah, to
Beat
beat
Everything Everywhere All at Once and Glass Onion.
to beat out Everything Everywhere All at Once is pretty special.
Yeah. Best TV drama series, House of the Dragon.
I'm not on board with that.
See the final season of Better Call Saul.
It's disgraceful.
Came away empty-handed.
Every season of Better Call Saul came away empty.
Yeah.
It's shocking. That season of Better Call Saul, there's not been anything that good ever.
For some second-rate Game of Thrones show.
Yeah. And Ozark as well. To beat Ozark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm disappointed with that one. I feel like that's just gone to the popular vote.
Abbott Elementary won Best TV Series, Musical or Comedy.
I've not seen that, but I've heard really good things
I've
about
heard
it.
great things
Yeah,
about
it's
it.
supposed to be really good.
I think that also may be on Disney Plus over here.
I think it is. I think you're
We'll
right.
double check. Again, that was up against some decent competition. Best Actor in a TV Series, Kevin Costner for Yellowstone.
Again, I've not watched Yellowstone, but I heard that's really good. He beat Bob Odenkirk, Adam Scott, and Jeff Bridges for that.
That's quite the category.
It really is.
Best Actor in a Limited Series was Evan Peters for Monster: the Jeffrey Dahmer story.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think he was great in that.
Anyone we want to look at? Best Supporting Actor in a Limited Series was Paul Walter Hauser for Blackbird.
Good for him. I
Yeah.
love that guy.
Yeah.
Seth Rogen was nominated for that.
Best Director, Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans. Again, I mean, he's gonna get another gong, it's got to be for the movie that's about himself. Surely.
You would think so. I'm really looking forward to seeing that. Actually, when it comes out, I'm definitely going to jump up and see that. Jump up?
You
I'm going to jump up out of my chair and go and watch it straight away.
You go and jump. Ozark did pick up a winner in the form of Julia Garner for Best Supporting Actress, and possibly everyone's favourite award of the night.
Yeah.
An absolute fantastic speech. If you've not checked it out, is Ke Huy Quan winning Best Supporting Actor for Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. I think one of the best things about 2022 is this guy's comeback.
I couldn't agree more.
Finding Ahana on Netflix is great.
Yeah.
He's in this. Short Round, welcome back.
Couldn't be happier for him. Data from the Goon. Love that guy.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, there was some good winners and some good speeches from that award ceremony. If you've not seen a few, definitely go and check out Ke Huy Quan's speech. Really good. What's her name? Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah.
Her speech was really, really good as well. Made a few people cry, I think. So, yeah, go and check it out.
RRR picked up an award for Best
Did it really?
Original Song.
Best Original Song?
Yeah.
Excellent. Cool.
Amazing.
It's coming up to Oscar season. I like covering the Oscars. I don't like the Oscars, but I like it when we cover it. It's funny.
Okay.
And finally.
For
the news, anyway.
This isn't really news.
Okay.
It's just something quite entertaining that has sort of come up as a Twitter thread this week has been people making movie titles less intense.
Okay.
Shall I read some out? You don't look.
Okay.
You see what you think. Some of these, some quite good ones. Make a movie title less intense. That has been the challenge this week on Twitter.
I like it.
Some like it room temperature. Quite like that one.
Oh, that's good. That is very good. That's much less intense.
Apocalypse soon.
Yeah, you've got a little bit of time to prepare for the apocalypse there.
Die mildly.
That's great.
What about One Dalmatian?
Just the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
The politest, mildest title, I think. Excuse me, but have you seen the Red October? Quite like that one.
That is great. These are great. What a great idea.
Some of the President's Men. Night of the Living.
Yeah. That kind of changes the whole movie, but yeah. Makes it much less intense.
The Texas Chainsaw Mascara.
Mascara?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I do like some of this.
That's great. I love those sort of things that just randomly trend on Twitter for no reason. People just get really into it.
The Good, the Bad, and the Handsome.
Sounds like this podcast.
Yeah, that's true. Chariots of Warmth. Snacks on a Plane.
Snacks on a Plane.
Yeah.
Always the best. Snakes on a Plane's a great movie.
And last one. Dude, I have my car.
That's great. What a great little thing. We come up with any off the top of our heads?
Oh, God, don't make me try and be funny on the spur of the moment.
Be funny on the spur of the moment.
I will forget all films ever.
I do that all the time. You know when we're doing preparing for the real talks, I have never got any clue about any films. Just ever.
All films ever made instantly drop out of my head.
Agreed. Have you watched anything good at the top of the stream?
I've watched a couple of things.
Go for it.
I don't know if I would say they were good, but and I can't say I've 100% sort of focused on these. I liked one a lot more than the other. I'll start with the one I liked more. I watched Glow Up on Netflix, which I think is a BBC show.
Yeah.
It's about like makeup artists.
All right.
And it's basically a reality show. One gets knocked out every week. You've got a task to do. But sometimes it's quite good because they do like full on like sci-fi prosthetic type.
So it's not just like put a bit of lippy
stuff
on and see what happens.
Yeah, so there's usually a theme. I mean, the hosts are pretty irritating, and the judges, but there's some quite talented people in there. The contestants were not too bad. So I watched a few of them. That was quite good. And then I watched Things I Do for This Show.
Okay.
So some people in my house wanted to watch this show.
Some people.
Like, yeah, come on then. I'll watch one. I can talk about it on the podcast. Watch Dance Monsters on Netflix.
Is that the CGI?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And?
I thought it was terrible.
Really?
Yeah.
How does it work?
So people are, through some undefined process of selection, chosen to be on this show. They are behind the scenes, kitted out in all the motion capture rig suits, with the bubbles all over them and the balls. And then they They are released into a studio where revealed to them in the mirror is their monster, who
Okay.
they are being, and then they train, practice to do a dance routine in front of a group of judges, one of whom's Ashley Banjo, because he's on all of this sort of
Yeah,
program.
he does. He loves this sort of shit.
And he's presented by an ex-Pussycat doll.
Kimberly.
Don't think it's that one.
Okay.
And Neo was a judge
Oh, of course he was.
from the
How's Neo doing?
Noughties. Yeah, fine. I think he's all right.
So did they
And-
just watch a screen?
So they have backing dancers on the stage in front of the judges.
Yeah.
But yeah, this CGI thing is being projected on the stage.
So they're just basically watching it on the telly.
I think so. I don't know. It looks like it's on the stage, but I don't know how it's projected. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But some of the monsters are so clunky. It looks like that thing should one of them is a giant rock monster.
So how does it move like a flowy dancer?
But it doesn't. That's the thing.
Oh.
So it's doing flowy dances because the person behind it is a reasonable dancer, but it just looks crap because it's a blocky
Its
rock
arm
monster.
kind of going into it. And
Yeah,
doing
whereas one of them was how would I describe it? A sexy Sonic the Hedgehog with flowing hair and stuff, which lends itself.
Yeah, that's more dancey. Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds shit.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm much more interested in the technology of how it works than the actual show itself.
I don't know how much you can win or what happens because I didn't want to watch any more episodes.
Did the other people in your house watch anymore?
They might have watched one or two more, but
they're
I
not.
don't think they made it. To
They're
the
not
end of
climbing the walls to get to the rest
season. No.
of it. Okay, that says it all, doesn't it?
It's just obviously clearly Netflix have gone right. Masked Singer, Masked Dancer. They're a success. What can we do that's the same but a little bit different?
CGI singer.
Yeah.
Okay, or
Sorry.
dancer.
How about you? What have you watched?
I haven't watched a lot this week. I've watched 2 films.
Good.
I've been to the cinema
Lovely.
and I've watched a film on Netflix.
Nice.
I will start with the film on Netflix. I watched The Pale Blue Eye
Oh,
on
great.
Saturday night. I'm not going to lie to you, Nick. I struggled with it a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say it was bad.
Okay.
The parts of it I quite enjoyed. It just didn't seem to grab me.
Oh,
I
interesting.
didn't. I was just at one point I felt like I was just looking at it. I wasn't really into it. It was just on,
Right.
and it just was like I was like, oh, this is boring.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
But yeah, it was a bit. But then the 2 main guys in it, Christian Bale and I don't know the other guy's name. I apologise. The guy who plays Edgar Allan Poe was in the Harry Potter films.
Yeah.
They're both really good, and the story's really good. There's just something there that wouldn't grab me in. I
Okay.
couldn't get into it.
Was it
I
a
don't
bit, clinical or just...
No, I don't even think it was that. I don't know. It looks really nice. Honestly couldn't tell you what it was. I just couldn't get into it. I
Okay.
just was like, I can't. You know when you just sink into a film and you're just following the story?
Yeah.
I just couldn't.
Oh.
I don't know if it was me or the film. Or
I've not seen too many reviews of it, actually, to see how it's kind of...
There's a nice
gone
twist at
now.
the end that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
That came out of nowhere. That was good. But yeah, I can't say
Weren't
I'd recommend
invested.
it because I wasn't invested in it.
Okay.
Exactly. And then on Monday of this week, I believe,
Yeah.
I went to the cinema.
Okay.
First time I've been to the cinema for months.
Yeah.
I went to watch A Man Named Otto. Or
Okay.
A Man Called Otto. I can't remember what it's called. It's Tom Hanks' new film.
Sure.
It's a 10 out of 10 film for me.
Oh, really? Wow.
Absolutely fucking loved it.
What's the story?
Sorry for the swears. Tom Hanks plays a grumpy old man who has given up on life. His wife's recently died.
Okay.
He has nothing left to live for, and he's just a miserable old man he lives in a gated community where he's like in charge of making sure the rules are being followed.
Right.
And then this Mexican family move in next door, and the mother kind of takes him under her wing and gives him this new lease of life. He hates her at the start, and he just basically warms to this family.
Oh, great.
And they bring him back, and it's a really heartwarming story. It's really funny. It's really sad. It made me cry, like full on,
Oh, wow.
proper cry, and I thought it was magnificent. I sat there at the end when it finished, and everybody in the cinema, nobody moved.
Really?
Everybody just sat there as if they were just like taking in what they'd just seen. Honestly, it was brilliant.
Oh,
I
that's cool.
couldn't recommend it high enough. It's going under the radar a little bit because of Avatar and everybody that's taking
Sure.
all the cinema talk at the minute. But yeah, Tom Hanks is amazing. Tom Hanks is really good. I don't know if people say this enough. But Tom Hanks is really good at what he does.
I think he'll do all right.
I was thinking as well, Tom Hanks has grown up on the screen. From when he was in Big, he was what, early 20s?
Sure.
And now
Yeah.
he's playing like miserable, grumpy old men. And I can't really think of anybody who's been consistently on screen for as long as Tom Hanks has, growing up in roles like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like-
no, I do. I think that's a sort of consistent.
consistent. He's been
He's
there.
never
He's always
really
been
took
there.
a break, has he?
No, he's always been there from. I think Big was his big starting film, wasn't it?
No, he did a couple before that.
Yeah,
didn't
but
he?
Big was his like first
big
big break, big
breakthrough
lead role. But yeah, and I think I just think he's magnificent, and I don't think he gets said enough. Like the other week when we were talking about who the greatest actors are, I don't think we said his name, and I don't know. But people just know that he's a great actor,
Sure.
so he doesn't get talked about enough because he's the best.
And he's 66 as well.
I know, yeah.
Oh, he's older than that.
No.
Okay.
Crazy. Yeah, I'd highly recommend. If it's called A Man Named Otto, that's fine. It might be called A Man Called Otto. It's something along those lines.
To Hanks.
Tom Hanks is great. That's the news for this week.
Breaking news.
Breaking news: Tom Hanks is great at what he does. Excellent. That's all I've watched though. I've not really done anything else.
That's fine.
Should we do a real talk?
Let's real talk.
What was this week's real talk
Oh,
topic?
just before real talk.
Okay.
Going back to something we watched last week. I've not gone back to Kaleidoscope.
I think I've done one more.
Okay.
I know what you're going to say. There's
I
nothing.
think I will,
Yeah.
but I kind of forgot that I started.
Same. I know what you mean.
It's not really stuck in there.
No. I don't think it's as clever as it thinks it is. And I think that's probably why that's happening.
I almost kind of feel, upon further reflection from the watching those two last week, that it had been retrofitted more than designed
Yeah.
to be watched
I just
in
don't.
any order.
I think any show like that can be watched in any order. And it's all flashbacks to leading up to one event. Of course it can watch in any order. It doesn't. There's no linear story there. No, I will go back to it, but so far I haven't.
Okay.
Right, what we got on Real Talk? What was the Real Talk topic this week?
The topic on Real Talk this week was: what is your best and worst experience in a cinema?
Indeed. It was a good one, I thought. You came up with this
Did we
one.
get any blue answers?
Blue... What, Avatar?
Yeah.
No. Surprisingly not, no. We didn't get many answers on the socials. I'm just looking through. People need to be more active with us on socials, please.
Okay.
We got one from a guy called Donnie Roberts.
Hello, Donnie.
Hi, Donnie. We've actually spoken to Donnie. He used to host Cage's Kiss.
Yeah.
Years ago. We were on their show
We were.
a long time ago. But
Great
he
time.
answered. Thanks for hanging around, Donnie. One of my favourites was the premiere of Beavis and Butthead Do America.
Oh, amazing.
Sold out theatre. People were sitting in the aisles,
Amazing.
headbanging to each song, beer bottles clinking, high fives from random strangers. The place was alive as alive as a party house.
That sounds fantastic.
It really does. What an experience that must have
And
been.
I wish I was there.
Me too.
Um,
I don't hate Beavis and Butthead Do America either. I think it was really good for its time.
Beavis and Butthead was huge.
Oh,
man.
so people don't realise how huge Beavis and Butthead were.
Yeah. That sounds like a great time.
It does.
Good answer.
Yeah,
Good
absolutely.
answer.
You get any in the Discord?
We've got a few in the Discord. So Ross Cook says the best was This Is 40.
What's
well-
that? Is that Seth Rogen film?
I don't know if it's Paul Rudd. It is Judd Apatow.
Oh, yeah. I think so. Is it Seth Rogen? I don't know.
It could well be. It's that crew, isn't it?
I've not
I have
seen
seen it years ago. He says, my wife and I got drunk and went. It was a small screen, handful of people who I think were as drunk as we were, and I nearly passed out from laughing.
Oh, wow.
Beer helps.
Beer does help.
Worst cinema
Gives it
experience.
more fun.
And this is quite an interesting take on it. Ross says, it was when I worked in a cinema.
Oh,
It was
okay.
one of the first times I was the projectionist solo. I put on the first Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock movie, but I put it on slightly off on the machine, so the whole movie was moving across the screen about an inch every 5 minutes. By the time I noticed, it was too late to redo the whole thing. So every 5 minutes, I put a piece of tape on the glass to make sure the picture had a sharper edge. Nobody who watched said anything. It was the sweatiest I've ever been in my life.
Oh, wow. That must be quite scary.
I just like to see that as I like to think of that as just adding an element of danger to your normal
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
your job at the time.
It's good for him for noticing, because if it's only moving an inch every 5 minutes, that's not a lot.
I think I might have watched a couple of movies where someone had done that, Ross,
Yeah,
and
I think you're
didn't
right.
try to take
Yeah.
any action to solve it. So there you go.
I didn't know Ross used to be a projectionist. That's interesting.
I knew that Ross worked in the
Yeah,
cinema.
I did as well.
But I didn't realise that they actually let him loose on projection. There you go.
Man shouldn't be given any responsibility.
Wayne in the Discord says, my best cinema experience was Parasite in 2020 because it was the first time I ever went to the cinema by myself.
Oh, wow.
That's a bit of a backhand to anyone who's ever been to the cinema with Wayne.
Yeah.
I
have numerous times.
took up on, went by myself at short notice, loved the film, but loved the experience more. Haven't done solo visits often since, but it's well worth doing. Worst, Dune. What a boring waste of 3 hours. Looking
Fuck
forward
yeah.
to the sequel.
Couldn't agree more. What a boring waste of time. Do you know, I've never been to cinema on my own.
Have you not?
No.
I'm just trying to think if I have.
I'm not against it. I've just never had any reason to. There's always
Yeah.
somebody who would go with me.
All right, sure.
I'm just a very popular guy.
Wayne's
Go
got
for
a
it.
couple of honourable mentions. Someone got beat up in front of us during the opening credits of The Hangover.
Wow.
And then last year, when a couple walked into Bros and only realised they were in the wrong film and one of the main characters was receiving oral sex from two people at the same time.
That doesn't happen in most films. So.
How does it take that to realise you're in the wrong film?
Surely you would notice straight away.
Like, this isn't Avatar. You'd know that straight away, surely.
This isn't Jane Eyre.
Yeah. Alex in the Discord says, I do have a best, and that is the aforementioned Wayne jumping a clear 3 inches off his seat because of an owl in the movie Us.
Wayne, I watched a few horror movies with Wayne, and he is a jumper. He does like to leave his seat.
Chris from the Time Shifters podcast says, my best memory was taking my son to a re-release of Ghostbusters back in 2014. He was 10 and it was his first time seeing it. That's awesome
That is cool.
to see it on a big screen.
Yeah, that is really cool.
Worst experience, either the stupid disappointment of a movie that was Star Trek 5 or leaving Las Vegas because it was just depressing.
Oh, wow.
He also has an honourable mention, which was seeing Twister in the theatre, including once at a drive-in when the weather turned really nasty.
Oh, imagine that. Imagine watching Twister in a storm. That would be well cool.
Smileyton in the Discord says, the best, the In-Betweeners movie, not because of the movie, but because I went with a group of friends and it was a great laugh. One of the times where you're young and don't have a care in the world. I can imagine, I think I saw that movie in quite a packed theatre.
Yeah, I did as well.
And it being a good experience. Worst, went to see Hairspray because I was interested in a female.
Females.
I agreed to go and watch it with her and her friends. The film was awful. The girl wasn't interested in me.
Oh, I don't believe that for a second. What a lovely guy.
Okay. Me and you?
Go for it.
I'll go worst first.
Go for it.
It was seeing The Force Awakens.
Okay.
I think it was like a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
Showing. Busy. So
Yeah.
within the first couple of weeks of it coming out. And there was a dad and son behind us. The son was too young.
Okay.
Didn't want to be there. Wasn't interested. All the way through. Nattering, chatting. Dad telling him to shut up. Got half an hour maybe before the end of the film. And he just starts going, Dad, I need a poo. I need a poo. Dad's telling him to shut up. You can wait. I need a poo. Someone at the back of the theatre just goes, take your fucking kid for a shit.
Brilliant. Did he?
I don't think he did.
Oh, really?
I just think at that point, no one gave a toss about the movie. It was,
Oh, it's bad when an experience gets ruined like that.
yeah.
Do you want me to do my worst?
Okay.
I've got two and I can't really pick between them.
Okay.
So the first one I'm thinking of was It Part 1. I went to see It Part 1 in our local cinema. And I was sitting next to a female who just lost her mind. For the first thing she did when she got in there was take her shoes off.
Right.
No, not having that. And then by the end of the film, or by midpoint through the film, she was sitting backwards in her seat,
Right.
just screaming
Because of it.
because of the film and how scary it isn't. It's a great horror film, but it's not scary.
Yeah.
She was kneeling down on the chair, facing the back of the cinema, just screaming. With her
For
feet
how
up.
long?
5 minutes? She was a twat.
That's weird.
She was an
That's
imbecile.
weird, or she was just messing it up for everyone else.
Yeah, she was just an idiot. She was just trying to get some attention.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of. But yeah, don't take your shoes off in a cinema. Weirdos. And then the other time I thought of earlier today was the time me and you went to the cinema. When I came to visit you at uni and we were trying to go and watch Signs
Yeah.
and we missed it.
Yeah.
We hadn't got there in time, so we had to pick something else. And we picked a movie called Swim Fan.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Awful.
Fucking what a dreadful movie that is. It's still one of the worst movies I've ever seen. And yeah, I really wanted to watch Signs and we didn't. We watched Swim Fan. And it always sticks in my mind. It was a terrible, terrible time.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were my two worst experiences,
Yeah.
I think.
Good one.
Swim Fan's a dreadful film. Don't ever watch it. It's about a stalker who's stalking a high school swimming star.
Maybe we should find it and do a watch.
Do it. Maybe we should. The worst film. It's definitely the worst film I've ever seen in a cinema. Until this podcast started, it was probably the worst film I've ever seen. But I feel like that might have been beaten now. What's your best?
I don't know if it'll be the same as you because it was with you.
Okay.
And it was watching Freddy versus Jason in New York
That's exactly mine as well.
in 2003.
Yeah.
And
There's
it
no
was
weird.
Fucking insane.
It was a much like
It was
Donnie's story.
It was
earlier.
an absolute party.
Yeah. Do you remember?
The whooping and the hollering.
Yeah, people shouting at the screen all the way through.
Yeah.
It's a bit like, do you remember, this scene at the beginning of Scream 2? When
Yeah.
everybody's going crazy in the cinema. It was
brilliant.
just like that. It was in
much fun.
Times Square, wasn't it?
I'd
It was in
never
New
been
York.
to a movie where it's just that. Everyone was just in. the
Everyone was
moment.
so into it. People were
Made that
shouting
movie
at
so much
Jason.
better.
People were shouting at Freddy. Yeah, it's not a very good movie.
I've never seen
but
it since.
I've
I
seen
don't
it
think.
once since, I think. Yeah, but yeah, the lady sitting next to me was just screaming at, telling Freddy that Jason was coming and vice versa. Yeah, it was It was going to be mine as well, so
Yeah.
I'm not surprised it's yours. Great times.
Yeah.
Great experience.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It really was. But I love going to the cinema. People should do it more. When you can have an experience like I had this week, where you just sit at the end of the film and just take it in, and just that was incredible.
Sure.
I love that feeling, and it doesn't happen enough. The first film I've been to the cinema to see this year, and it's a 10.
Nice.
I only give the whole of last
Good
year. I only
start.
give 110. I only give 110 out.
Okay.
Cool. Right. I think we're done. So I don't think we've got a lot left to say on this wave. We've talked about this week's film already.
Good wave.
Good wave.
Just come back here Thursday. Same feed. We'll be talking about The Mansion.
We will indeed. French/Belgian movie, The Mansion. Come back here for that.
Other than that,
Bye.
we'll see you here on Thursday and then back here next week for The Wave.
We will indeed.
Cheers.
Bye.